G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wildkard. Thank you for being here to watch my content. And yes, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I waited all night. There was a rumor that was circulating around the internet and got me extremely excited. So I waited. I had to know if this rumor was true or not. As soon as the team was announced, I refreshed Google for like 3 hours to see the Scottish selection. And it's true. It's true. Finn Russell has returned at the number 10 jersey for Scotland this weekend against the mighty All Blacks. In case you didn't know, there's quite a bit of a story with the Finn Russell selection here. So the coach, Gregor Townsend, wanted to make an example out of his team, essentially. Opted to drop Finn Russell's due to some pretty lackluster performances in the Six Nations. There was like fan footage that went viral where he was like walking back to the defense line and not making an effort to get back and defend, allowing the French to score a try. That was like went viral. And then later on, the team was told after the Italian game to not go out drinking. He went out drinking with his teammates anyway. So as a result, Gregor Townsend tried to make a example out of him. Has dropped him completely from the Scottish team for the November internationals. But as a result of Adam Hastings' injury, he was left with no choice, calling Finn Russell up as an injury replacement. And despite claiming that Blair Kinghorn, the replacement number 10 for Finn, is the informed number 10 for Scotland, he has swallowed that pill and swallowed that pride and put Finn Russell in the 10 jersey against the All Blacks this weekend. And with Kinghorn on the bench. Okay? So, yeah, quite a bit of a story there. But then the story continues with Finn Russell, right? So, Finn Russell plays for a French club called the Racing 92. And you might be wondering, what's that got to do with anything? So there's a rumor that's been circulating that Finn Russell's contract is going to be up in 2023, and the club is currently not renewing his contract, and as a result, and the reason being is that there's very big speculations that Beauden Barrett, after his contract ends with the All Blacks after 2023 Rugby World Cup, will be going to Racing 92. So, yeah. So Beauden Barrett it's currently rumored to be Finn Russell's replacement at Racing 92. And, guess what? Fozzie has finally done it. He has put King Beauden on the 10 jersey. So we have a matchup that I actually excited to see this weekend. We have King Beauden, something I wanted to see for a very, very, very long time, back at the 10 jersey. I'm sure Beauden would do himself proud to redeem himself and try to reclaim that 10 jersey. And we'll have Finn Russell getting back in the Scottish team. Finn Russell was once considered the number 110 in Northern Hemisphere. He was even considered to be the starting number 10 for the Lions tour. So yeah, this could be the best of the North versus the best of the South in that 10 jersey spot, and I am just so excited. Yeah, so let's move on, have a quick look at some of the stuff before we go into the exact lineup. Very exciting selections for the All Blacks team as well. So overall, as you can see, that Scotland has never beaten the All Blacks. With that being said, if you quickly have a look at the stats from the Wallabies game, so Scotland actually overall had a pretty decent game overall, I thought, against the Wallabies. It was just a bit unlucky that they kind of like fell behind. Quite close game. The discipline was definitely an issue. 14 penalties is definitely a bit too high for Test rugby. The line-out also seems a little bit rusty. 3 line-outs lost against the Wallabies, but overall pretty close stuff. In terms of the players, obviously Hamish Watson and Gilchrist are 2 of the highest work rates in the Scottish team. The defense is quite good. Not that many missed tackles across the board. No one really stands out as a liability in terms of defense. But I do think that one thing with the Scottish team, and I did notice from the stats, something that I kind of noticed when I watched a Scottish team as well. The best player, supposedly, for the Scottish team, Duan van der Merwe, he has a really, really low work rate on the field. Even Darcy Graham, his opposite, his other winger, has much better work rate than he has on the field. 3 runs, 35 run meters. Despite being the best winger in the Scottish team, and he's the Lions tour starting winger, so he could, technically, he's could be considered the best winger in in Britain, and his work rate is just super low. So this is going to be one of the key areas, like 2 tackles. Like, come on, man. He literally, he always pretty much stands around, wait for the opportunity to present himself, and he doesn't really try hard enough to get himself into positions. So one of the key areas this weekend is going to be that wing position, that Van der Merwe factor, and the high ball. Whether or not they're going to be able to use him with Finn Russell on the field, maybe some of that kicking game will click. When the kicking game clicks with Finn Russell, Van der Merwe is like superior in a lot of the high balls, and it's quite devastating when he's able to get under the ball with like a pinpoint accurate cross-field kick from Finn Russell. We shall see if that's going to happen this weekend. But yeah, I do think that I wanted to call out Merwe in terms of the stats is not looking that great. In terms of the All Blacks, overall the stats against Wales does look a little bit better than, obviously they beat the Wales quite a lot. Fewer penalties conceded. 10 is something that you would probably expect from an international team. Almost no mistakes. 1 line-outs lost overall. Goal kicking, there was a few misses, but the All Blacks had to do a lot of goal kicking due to the amount of tries they scored. Some of the really key stats from the players. Obviously, the amount of line breaks. Let's go to attacking. The powerhouse that is Adi Savia was absolutely carving people up on the field all day. And Somasani Takia, who also made his impact on the field. So a lot of the work in this Welsh game was done by the New Zealand forward pack. They pretty much played the Springbok strategy, where they just had, one-off crash ball, dummy runner crash ball, tight hair prop, short ball to loose hair prop, exciting gameplay all night, that sort of stuff. So maybe I do feel like having Beauden Barrett at number 10, we're definitely going to see fewer crash balls this weekend. And we'll have to see if how that's going to go. But nevertheless, that's something, it's going to be very exciting. Also, the referee is going to be Frank Murphy. I don't really know this guy. He's an Irish referee. But yeah, he's the referee, so don't have anything else to talk about. The weather is going to be a little bit wet in Edinburgh on the weekend. So this is going to be raining on Friday. This is going to be like Sunday, I think this game is going to be. But it's going to be a little bit of drizzle. Could be a bit wet on the ground. So could be a bit of slippery conditions for both teams. But overall, I don't think this is going to affect either teams, because Scotland tend to play in the rain a little bit as well. And the All Blacks actually excel in the rain. They played against Argentina. They just absolutely dominated Argentina in the rain. Like, they didn't even drop the ball, essentially. It didn't, the rain did not exist for the All Blacks as a factor. So that's not really an issue overall. In fact, if it does raining, starts to rain, I do think that could be an advantage to the All Blacks. So let's quickly have a look at the lineup for the team. First up, at Pierre Shulman, Fraser Brown, and Xander Fagerson starting front rowers for the Irish team. The only change is Fraser Brown in the hooker position for, as opposed to the Wallabies game. The Ireland has changed. Xander Fagerson is the powerhouse in the Scottish team. His scrummaging has been improving again and again and again. His just overall size and power is really starting to show as he's getting he's reaching that peak of his just physical peak as he's aging, getting there as a tight end prop, which is can really start to see that he's getting better and better every week. He will be up against Ethan de Groot, who many people consider is the best loose head in New Zealand. The New Zealand props shuffles around a lot. I do think Ethan is probably the best loose head in New Zealand right now. Up against Xander Fagerson, this will be a test to see whether or not he can solidify himself. It's like, one of those pecking orders, whether or not he can get Xander Fagerson out of the way. Getting him out of the way this weekend, dominating Xander Fagerson, getting like a tight hair win, or loose hair win rather, will be a huge tick on his, on his resume. Coming in number 2, Somasani Takiaho, the best hooker in New Zealand, absolute devastating ball runner. His powerhouse leg drives, when he's close to the try line, he's almost unstoppable. Like the power, just the body height is just unstoppable when he tries to go over the try line. It's just like the amount of tries that this guy scored, not just, being on the back of the rolling maul and, kind of score some freebie sort of thing. That just like his leg drive from near the try line just single-handedly has scored so many tries for the All Blacks. He's, it's incredibly dangerous and difficult to defend when he's very, very close. Nipo Laulala gets a surprising start at number 3. I thought, sure, Terrell Lomax would be starting at tight head. It looks like Fozzie's pretty happy with Lomax being, like, the tight head for the All Blacks and has opted to give him a break this weekend. But Nipo Laulala, the Blues tight head, comes in at the Blues reserve tight head, no less, comes in at the tight head position for the All Blacks. In the locking position, Richie Gray, his Johnny Gray's brother, comes in at number 4. Haven't seen him. I don't remember last time. I don't remember seeing him. Anyway, I haven't seen him for a long time. And then Grant Gilchrist gets the number 5 jersey for Scotland. Quite the. He was, like we just showed, his work rate is really, really high. Almost plays like a additional flanker on the field. They're up against Sam Whitelock and Scotty Barrett. Both are just like probably two of the most clinical line-out executioners in the world. Scotty Barrett also extremely good at defense in the line-out more. Also really good at defending around the tight areas. So Scotty Barrett is quite a physical player that occupies a lot of the space on the field. And he's really, really crucial for the All Blacks in a lot of the games when his presence is felt. The one thing about Scotty Barrett is I do think he plays a lot better at a 5 jersey. A lot of people want to put him at 6, especially Foster. But I do think Scotty Barrett at 5 is a much, much more suitable position for him. And he plays much better. He's more confident at 5 jersey. And he also just, that confidence really shows. And he just overall performs a lot better. Not to say that he's a bad 6 or anything. He's just more confident at number 5. And Sam Whitelock, probably is the most experienced player in the All Blacks team. I think he's going to be the captain as well. So, Sam Whitelock, again, he's been like on and off at the moment. Sometimes he's placed like an absolute god, and other days he's like just average at best. But he never really has a bad game per se, so you can always rely on him to put on a solid ship regardless. It comes in the loosies. You have Jamie Ritchie at number 6, Akira Ioane at 6 for the All Blacks. Hamish Watson comes in number 7. Dalton Papali'i number 7. And number 8, Matt Fagerson, Xander Fagerson's brother. And Adi, the King Savia, comes in at number 8 for the All Blacks. This is going to be quite a matchup that's going to rely on speed. And just speed is probably the key word here with the loose forwards. Hamish Watson and Jamie Ritchie are both incredibly agile loose forwards that really pounces on the breakdowns quite quickly. So Akira Ioane and Dalton Papali'i really need to, I feel like probably a little bit behind in that speed, especially compared to Hamish Watson. So they have to kind of pick that up a little bit. Ali Savia, as we showed, is quite a ball carrier. Probably he is the most dangerous forward on the field on the weekend. Just that sheer athleticism, seeing powers through other players like they don't even exist. Again and again, especially against Wales. Not just Wales, he's done that again and again against many, many other international teams. He is the most dangerous player on the field. So Matt Fagerson has a lot of work to try to neutralize Adi Savia on the day. Now in the back line, my dream of having Beauden Barrett has come true. But, everybody wanted the Blues back line to play. Fozzie's not going to give it to us. But this is, we might see the Blues back line as we all wanted to see in the second half, because we do have Stephen Perifetta and Enrico Ioane here. So without RTS at 12, so they probably could potentially put Jordie Barrett at 12 and have the full, essentially Blues back line on the field, with Stephen Perifetta at 15, and Rico Ioane comes in for 13 for Anton Leonard-Brown. So we could potentially get that dream as close as we can possibly imagine it, having the Blues backline finally playing for the All Blacks. I'm very excited. I don't know about you. The Blues backline for the Super Rugby was absolutely beautiful to watch. So if we can get just that tiny bit of perfection from the Blues into the All Blacks. This will be a beautiful game for us to witness. So anyway, with that being said, let's have a look at the lineup. Ali Price comes in number 9 for Ireland, not Ireland, for Scotland. Finlay Christie comes in at number 9. The Blues, the Blues number 9. And he hasn't been playing that much recently. He's been coming off the bench a little bit. But yeah, it's good to see him finally coming up to that number 9 jersey. Finlay Christie, a pretty solid player. Just basic stuff. Same with Ali Price. Here's the matchup that I've been talked about before already. Finn Russell against Beauden Barrett. Someone who could be replacing my Rusty 92. What else can I say? The both players have a tremendous kicking game. The Beauden Barrett, in my opinion, is the best kicking game in the world. Hasn't really showed that in the All Blacks because he really hasn't been given that opportunity. Whereas in Super Rugby, his kicking game was just absolutely sublime. Okay, I actually had a nightmare. You have no idea. I actually had a nightmare after watching the Blues play. Like literally, I had a nightmare where I was on the rugby field and Beauden Barrett was my opposition, and he just kicked the ball at me and I dropped the ball. Like he knew I wasn't gonna catch it, and I literally freaked out in my dreams. I'm not joking. Like Beauden Barrett's kicking game is so good in the Super Rugby. I really want to see how he's gonna do against Finn Russell. And again, Finn Russell is one of those super creative players in rugby at the moment. A lot of people thought he might be too creative. Now sometimes he makes like stupid decisions, but I do think that flair, that spontaneous decision making makes him such an exciting player to watch. You never know what he's going to do. And I've already mentioned, one of the key weapon that if he can utilize properly is Duhan van der Merwe at number 11 jersey. We've seen again and again with Finn Russell, he's able to spot an open opportunity for Merwe, to cross-field kick for Merwe, and he'd take the high ball. And it's just super devastating because Van der Merwe is probably the best guy under the high ball in the Northern Hemisphere, despite the fact that he gets underused every week. So this week, with Finn Russell's on the field, this is going to be important. And again, Scotland is one of the teams I feel key players needs to play well. If they play well, they can beat any team in the world. If these few players don't execute, then Scotland is, quite frankly, a tier 2 nation, to be honest. Caleb Clark, the powerhouse for the All Blacks. Again, he's really underutilized by the All Blacks at the moment. I really felt like having Beauden Barrett and maybe his Blues teammates as a full complement will give him the opportunity to show that power, that's giving the space. And hopefully we'll see a big collusion somewhere on the field between him and Van der Merwe. Sione Tuipulotu comes in number 12, a former Melbourne Rebels player. He's up against David Havili, the Crusaders, number 12. David Havili always plays like a second 5'8", almost. He does a bit of a kicking game nowadays out of the 12 jersey. Tuipulotu is just a hard-running traditional style of number 12. He will run at you, he will belt you. So a bit of a contrast of style here between the two teams. And I do think that the way David Havili plays clashes a little bit with Beauden Barrett's style. I really feel like they should just, get him on the field early, right? And then have Jordie Barrett move to 12 and have Jordie Barrett at 12 as a ball runner and a crash ball runner option, and have Stephen Ferrafetta on field at number 15, and even Riku Ioane can come on hopefully soon as well to replace Antonella Brown. So number 13, Chris Harris is the standard setup for Ireland at number 13, 12 and 13 setup. Antonella Brown, after long periods of like injuries and re-injuries, he's finally like getting himself back into the All Blacks team. He hasn't been quite in tip-top form as of yet, but it does look like we know what he can do when he's in form. So it does look like Frozzy is slowly trying to build him back into the starting position. So number 13, Anton Leonard-Brown. He's one of the few players in the world who not only are really good at running the ball, but he can almost be a world-class number 7. The ability for him to turn over the breakdowns. And he's quite impressive of a player. Just injury-wise, has really hindered him behind. We shall see if he's going to be able to, it's going to be able to show some of that old Anton Leonard-Brown this weekend. Number 14, Darcy Graham, as I said, despite Van der Merwe being like the premier number 11 and the premier winger for Scotland, Darcy Graham actually works a lot harder on the field, searching for opportunities, trying to find space for himself. And he probably knows that he's like the second on the pecking order, and he works really, really hard to try to get himself up there. Whereas Amanda Merva just kind of like sits back and, yeah, don't do much. Number 14 for the All Blacks, Mark Talea debuts for the All Blacks. And Mark Talea is absolutely spectacular with all the athleticism in the world, except the fact that he can't catch. If he can catch the ball, he will be amazing because he's so athletically gifted. But yeah. Hopefully he doesn't drop the ball too many times this game. But yeah, I really felt like AJ Lamb should have been given this opportunity instead of Mark Talea. I thought AJ Lamb was much better for the Blues after Talea was injured. But who knows? Who knows? But yeah, we shall see. We will be watching how many times he dropped the ball. And finally, the other key area of the battle of the game is the fullback position. Scotland has a really, really, really I would say control style of kicking in the game. A lot of the games that they've won, especially the ones against England, that was quite difficult games for Scotland. This upsets are due to the kicking game by Stuart Hogg. The quick decisions, the accuracy, and the way he's able to shift, find space quickly around the field with that kicking game is really, really important. Like I said, again, just repeating myself a little bit here, Scotland really relies on a few key players to perform for them to secure that victory. And one of the other key areas is the fullback position at Stuart Hogg. If Stuart Hogg can catch those high ball cleanly, kick those, manage the kicking game, find those space, maybe kick a 50-22, the Scotland will be on the right track of potentially putting up an upset against the All Blacks. On the opposite position, Fozzie, obviously realizing this could have been an issue, has opted for Jordie Barrett back into the number 15 jersey. Jordie Barrett is probably the best fullback in the world, not gonna lie. He's so talented, he's such a huge boot. Steady as you can get under the high ball, never really dropped. He never drops a high ball. I don't think he drops a high ball at all. And just kicking, he's like Freddie Stewart, except he can kick. So it's Jordie Barrett, yeah, I don't know what else to say. He's just so good. Yeah, also an incredibly good ball runner as well. Something that he does have an advantage over Stuart Hogg in that regard. So that's the other key area that we need to look out for. And finally, the backline reserves. Let's quickly go through them. Ewan Asham comes in number 16. Roy Sutherland comes in number 17 for Scotland. And Willem Nel comes in number 18 for Scotland to finish off the reserve front rowers. Cody Taylor gets the reserve position, hooker position for the All Blacks, number 16. George Bauer gets caught in to number 17. Alongside of him, his Crusaders teammates, Fletcher Newell gets another opportunity for the All Blacks, at number 18 jersey. And that's the All Blacks reserves. I do think that the All Blacks reserves might have a slight advantage here because, yeah, the Crusaders front row, this is basically the full Crusaders front row. Cody Taylor, George Bauer, and Newell are all Crusaders players. So this is these guys have worked with each other quite a lot. So I do feel like there might be a bit of a experience factor that goes to the advantage of the All Blacks. Johnny Gray comes in number 19. Next to him, Jack Dempsey at number 20. Tupou Va'ai comes in number 19. And Shannon, apparently, we've all been pronouncing his name incorrectly. It's pronounced Frizzle. Shannon Frizzle comes in number 20. Not Frizzell. It's pronounced Frizzle. Comes in number 20 for the All Blacks. He's been moved down from the starting position. Ben White gets the number 21 jersey for Scotland. TJ Perenara returns to the team. Finally, for the first time in 2022, TJ Perenara gets to I think this is the first time he's in the team, right? I'm pretty sure he wasn't selected at all for the other test. So TJ Perenara returns for the number 21 jersey. Blair Kinghorn, in form, Blair Kinghorn is at number 22. And Stephen Pero Feta comes in number 22 for the All Blacks. I can't wait for him to get on the field. And number 23, not number 13, Mark Bennett for Scotland. He's been moved down for number 13 jersey. And Rico Ioane gets the number 23 jersey. Quite a devastating finisher on the bench for the All Blacks, especially if he comes on the field and he's fresh. He's going to carve some people up if the Scottish team lose a bit of focus. So, yeah, very dangerous finisher for the All Blacks overall. Shannon Frizzell and Tupu Vai are both incredibly good ball runners as well. Stephen Perifetta, impeccable kicking game as well at the fullback position. So yeah, I think the most thing I'm looking forward to is the Blues back line finally getting on the field. If Mark Tlair don't drop too many balls, this is going to be an easy win for the All Blacks. I think the All Blacks will win this one by like 20 points. Probably like 35 points to 15. I don't see Scotland scoring that many points, to be really frank. Scotland do have a good defense, but I do think that the physicality and the skill, probably will overpower Scotland. We shall see. 35 points to 15. All Blacks win by 20. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you guys for the reviews. Kia ora.